So hello students. So as we all know that we are continuing with our chapter 2, that is Meta-Randas pure. Okay. So up till now we have looked or we have studied about suspension. Okay. So what was suspension? It is a heterogeneous mixture where particle size is very large, and we have also studied about the properties of suspension. Okay. So today we are continuing with our next part, okay, or the next topic, that is colloidal solution. Okay, so while discussing about colloidal solutions, we will get to know about two more topics, that is Tyndall effect and properties of colloids. Okay, so let us start the class. So the first thing is, what is colloidal solution and why we call it solution? Okay, so the first thing is, even if we are calling it colloidal solution, but it is not a homogeneous mixture. Okay, so the most of us make a confusion regarding colloids. That is, since the solution term is there, we might think that it is a homogeneous mixture, but it is not a homogeneous mixture. Okay, it is a heterogeneous mixture. And why we are calling it solution? Because the particles of colloid is uniformly spread throughout the solution, or throughout the portions of the colloidal solution. Okay, the next thing you have to know that the particles of colloidal solution are smaller than suspension. Okay, but it is bigger than or larger than the actual homogeneous solution. Okay, so since the particle size of a colloidal solution is smaller, so in most of the cases we find that generally we mistaken it, or mistakenly we consider a colloidal solution as a true solution. Okay, for example, milk. Okay, so we all have seen milk, yes. So at the first look itself, we generally call milk as a pure substance. Okay, the firstly, milk is not a pure substance, it is a mixture. And secondly, milk is not a solution, it is not a homogeneous mixture, but it is a heterogeneous mixture, and it is a colloidal solution. But why we generally think it as a solution? Because the particles present in these colloidal solutions are so small that we almost assume it as a true solution. Okay, next, in suspension, what we have seen, that the particle size is larger, but in colloidal solution, since the particle size is smaller, so we cannot see the particles completely through our naked eyes. Okay, so that is one another reason why I consider colloid as a solution. And in colloids, one another important thing is that the colloidal particles, okay, they do not get settled down if you leave it undisturbed. Okay, so you can see in milk also, if you leave the milk undisturbed, if you keep it for some time, you will not see that the particles of milk is settling down, it will remain as it is. Okay, so therefore also we mistaken it to be a solution. Okay, so it behaves almost like a true solution. And one most important thing that you have to remember, that like solution, since solution is a homogeneous mixture, and we have already studied that homogeneous mixtures are difficult to separate by normal or common physical processes like filtration. So similarly, colloidal solution is the constituent, or the different substances which are together forming a colloidal solution. It is difficult to separate them, okay, through simple processes like filtration. Okay, for that we have to use a special technique which is known as centrifugation. Okay, centrifugation. So these are some important things that we have to keep in mind while studying about colloidal solutions. Okay, so these are some important properties. Okay, because if you look at the properties carefully, you will see that the properties of colloidal solution is almost similar to solutions, but somewhat different. Okay, so what is different? Only slightly they are different from a solution, and due to which, and this is due to their difference in the size of the colloidal particles. Okay, and the size of the colloidal particles is in between the size of a particles of a solution and size of the particles of a suspension. Okay, so therefore the properties of a colloid is also in between the properties of a solution and the properties of a suspension. Okay, the next important thing of colloid is that since the particles of colloidal solutions are larger than the particles of solution, therefore the particles of colloidal solution can scatter light. Okay, so since those particles are able to scatter light, so we can see that the light is how the light is passing through the colloidal solution. So here in this picture, if you look carefully, here this is a solution and this is a colloidal solution. Here you see the light, the path of the light is not visible, but here you see the light is visible. Why the light is visible? Because the particles which are present here, they can scatter the light in every direction. Okay, and therefore we can see the path of the light. Okay, so this is what is known as Tyndall effect. Okay, this is commonly known as Tyndall effect. So what is Tyndall effect? The Tyndall effect is nothing but the scattering of light by the colloidal particles. Okay, and why? Because the size of the colloidal particles is larger than the size of the particles of a solution, so they can easily scatter light. Here we are comparing the different three types of mixtures. One is solution, other is colloid, another is suspension. In solution, you see the light, the path of the light is not visible. In colloid, you see the path of the light is visible. Again, in suspension, the path of the light is visible until and unless, or up to that position until which the colloidal particles do not settle down. If the suspension particles do not settle down. If the particles of the suspension settles down, we will see that in suspension also the path of light will not become visible. Okay, because in suspension the particle size is larger, so if you keep it undisturbed, the particles will settle down. So this is the major difference between solution, colloid and suspension in terms of scattering of light, and this is what Tyndall effect is. Okay, so in book also you will see this kind of picture. Okay, so what you are seeing that the light is scattered by the leaves of the trees in a dense forest. Okay, so in dense forest we have trees. Okay, many trees, and these trees generally what they do, they prevent the sunlight from passing through it due to the dense leaves. Okay, but even though what we can see that the light rays, or beam of light, they passes through the gaps of the leaves. Okay, so that means the leaves, they can scatter the light, and you will see this kind of effect. Okay, so this kind of effect, and this is related with the scattering of light in colloidal solution, and this is known as Tyndall effect. Okay, so you can see this kind of effect even if in a dark room. Okay, so if in a dark room, if you just make one hole or any small gap through which light can pass, so you can see that the dust particle present in the air, they will scatter the light. Okay, and the beam of the light is visible to us. Okay, so this kind of things can also be seen in our day-to-day life if we just look around our environment or our surrounding little bit carefully. Okay, so this is what science gives us. Okay, so very small observations has a deeper meaning if we can know the reason behind it. Okay, the scientific reason behind it. Okay, so this is what Tyndall effect actually means. Now, every colloidal solution has two components. Like in solution we have two components, solvent and solute. Solvent and solute. Similarly, in colloidal solution we have two components, that is dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, so now what is dispersed phase? In solution we have solute, that is in the solvent, anything that we are adding to the solvent is known as solute, which is present in smaller amount. Similarly, in colloidal solution, the component which is present in smaller amount and which is dispersed in the dispersion medium, or in the component which is present in larger quantity, is known as dispersed phase. Okay, and the component which is present in larger amount, where the dispersed phase is present, those component is known as dispersion medium. Okay, so here we have written that the dispersed phase is the solute like component, or the component which is dispersed in the colloid. Okay, and the dispersion medium is those component which is present in larger amount and in which the dispersed phase is suspended. Suspended means the dispersed phase is mixed in the dispersion medium. Okay, so these are the two components, one is dispersed phase, one is dispersion medium. Now if you look carefully in your book, you will have this kind of table. Okay, so what is this table signifies? It is the types of colloids. Okay, so we have different types of colloids depending upon the types of dispersed phase and dispersed medium. Okay, so the first type is if the dispersed phase is liquid and the dispersion medium is gas. That means the solvent like thing, the dispersion medium is like the solvent, okay, and dispersed phase is like the solute. So the solvent like dispersion medium is gas and the dispersed phase, which is like the solute, is liquid. In that case, the colloid that we will get is known as aerosol. Okay, aerosol. That means in air or in a gaseous thing, we have some liquid objects mixed in it. Okay, for example, fog, cloud, mist. Okay, similarly, if the dispersed phase is solid and the dispersion medium is gas, then also we have aerosol, but then it is known as solid aerosol. Okay, for example, smoke, automobile exhaust. Similarly, if the dispersion medium is liquid and the dispersed phase is gas, that means the solvent like thing is liquid and the solute like thing is gas, then we will have foam. Okay, so in foam you can see that between the foam we have different air bubbles. Yes, why the air bubbles is present? Because in liquid dispersed medium, dispersion medium, we have a gaseous dispersed phase. Okay, so again, if the dispersion medium is liquid and the dispersed phase is liquid, then we have emulsion. For example, milk. In milk, suppose the dispersing medium or the dispersion medium is liquid, like suppose water, and if the other dispersed phase is also liquid, then for example the fats present in the liquids, then we will have emulsions like milk. Okay, if the dispersion medium is liquid and the dispersed phase is solid, we have sol. Okay, so here example is milk of magnesia, where milk of magnesia used to treat acidity. Okay, next, again the dispersion medium is, if the dispersion medium is solid, if the dispersed phase is gas, then we will have again a different type of foam. Okay, so that foam is a solid foam like sponge, okay, rubber, all this. If the dispersion medium is solid and the dispersed phase is liquid, we will have gel. Okay, we all know what is gel. Again, if the dispersion medium is solid and the dispersed phase is also solid, then we will have again solid sol like milky glass or gemstone. Okay, colored gemstone that is used in ornaments, different ornaments. Okay, so this is all about the colloidal solution. Okay, so I think with the colloidal solution, our different types of mixtures for your class 9 chapter 2 is finished. Okay, so from the next class onwards, we will look at different separation techniques. Okay, so what are the separation techniques that are used to separate the components present in different types of mixtures? Okay, so we will learn about all those techniques. Okay, so that's all for today's class.